All right, so this is going to be a quick review of this workflow in N8n and how to get it set up. I'm going to walk through all the little components of it. Once you have the file, which you'll have access to it in the link below, you should be able to just take that file, go into import from file, and then basically import it, right? And that'll create this whole instance. The only thing that's required is once you import it, you have to set up your own credentials, meaning that all of these nodes will have to be authenticated with your own accounts. So, for example, in this one, I'm using Google Drive and Google Docs, as well as uh, Open Router as the kind of model selector. And so you'll have to get set up with, first of all, Open Router, which is not too difficult to do. If you just go to openrouter.ai, you should be able to get and create an account and then create your API keys. I can show what that looks like. So if you go here, once you create an account, you go to keys, and then you should be able to create a new API key, right? Once you have that, keep that to yourself and don't share with others, because or else people will use that and start using your credits. Okay, but the reason why we use Open Router is because you can actually change if you want to use OpenAI from an LLM standpoint or Google Gemini or whatever model. It just makes it easier and faster to be able to change it right from here, right? So for example, if I wanted to show you that, if you go here to one of the nodes for, this is for, let's say, a sales guy. So if I click in this is the prompt. It's pretty much the same. It's got this kind of engineered way of having a good prompt. And then you'll see that if I go down below, it actually adds in additional information to kind of continue the chain of prompts. But what I can do is I can actually select which model I want to use. And so here I'm using, right now I'm using the Google Gemma, the free one, and you can select whichever one you want from it. So that's the benefit of getting that. So anyways, you'll have to get the API key. So once you do that, you'll have a place for that. I believe it's in the settings. Let me just double check. It's actually in the overview credentials. So here you can see you add your credentials into the central space. So I have one for, these are all my credentials. You can create a new one, create a credential, and you can select Open Router. It'll again ask you for the API key for that. And you can see here I have a few credentials. This is on my personal side, and I have my credentials related to the account that I'm using to help service some clients. All right, so let's go back to the workflow. This one is specifically the, let me refresh this. Give me one. Okay, there we go. So I have the template here, and I'm going to go again walk through what you need to do. So this first node again is the folder in which the files. This is basically listening for any type of transcript file to be stored, and once that file has been moved, this will kick off the whole automation. And so in this case, you have to again add your credentials for Google Drive, which there are some steps required for that require you to go into the Google Drive API. Again, there's a couple great YouTube tutorials, or even just using ChatGPT, you can get the instructions, the step-by-step instructions. So, but once you have that, you'll have to set up essentially the folder in which you're going to be listening. That's this one right here. Okay, so you can see that's what I have. I have my folder. Then we have this kind of get the transcript document. And again, all this is doing, this is actually nothing that you need to change, because it's just listening and waiting for any type of folder or file to go into that folder. And once it comes in there, it's going to take that and do something with it. Okay. Then we go into the sales guide. And for this one, again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create an output that I can use to understand the business a bit better, understand the ICP. And this is all from a transcript. So assuming that I've had the conversation, I've actually asked really good questions, I'm able to kind of paint a better picture of the company overview, the product, the ICP, the competition, etc. Right? And it could also look externally by doing Google searches to get this information. So it does that. As far as configuration for this, all you have to do, I believe, for this one is determine where you want this folder. This is the folder ID that where you want these to go. And so I have essentially right now kind of a central folder called Sales Agents. And here you'll see I have different folders for assessment, proposal, sales guide, and unit economics. And so each of these has its own ID. So these IDs are really just associated to these folders right here, right? So that's the ID for that folder. So if I go back here, this right here is going to require you to find or use the folder name for where this you would like this document to be created and then eventually stored, right? So that's that. For this one, it's just going to create the actual document itself. So this creates document, and then this one actually adds the content. Currently, I have these deactivated, but if I activate this, this will actually allow me to send emails. So once the document is done, I can actually have it send me an email. So if I actually activate this, click on this, you'll see here that I can change this to, go to a specific email. So let's say it goes to rich at jstartpartners.com. And I can have it sent to me, and then here's the link, right? Nothing you don't have to change anything here, assuming that everything else is to stay the same. Okay, so if I go that, and so what this will basically mean is that as soon as the document is done being created, it'll hit this node and then actually trigger an email out to me, right? The same thing is done with the setup of the assessments. All you have to do is you have to go in here and change the use a specific model that you've kind of preferred. Change the location of the folder, right? Again, going back to where this folder is located. So in this case, this one is the assessments. Assessments. So I go back to your assessments and I grab the assessments, put that there. And then same thing, I can kind of decide to turn these on or leave them off. This version of the assessment is just a kind of different version, different prompt, different system prompt I was testing to see how it does compared to the other one. So you could try that out if you're interested. And the final one was this kind of proposal creation prompt, which again can take the information from that transcript and then create a proposal using this type of kind of prompt structure, where we have the three biggest problems, identify some sort of recommended solution, and alternative version that looks like this. And so this is just, it can be a template that you use as a baseline. We're actually constantly updating and testing improved versions of these prompts, so that way we have a better output. But just know that this should work and produce a structured output that has the proper formatting. That's what this is for. Right now, if you don't have this, it'll just spit out a response that doesn't have the proper, bold and headings, and it'll just kind of use the kind of models like version of their headings, which is like with like the backslashes or hashtags. And so I wanted to have an actual version of this that's formatted correctly. So yeah, so that's kind of a quick lay of the land for this one. And again, this one is mostly used from a sales standpoint and trying to eliminate some of those sales tasks of creating these documents, which most salespeople typically do. Is they're obviously listening to the calls, understanding the pain points, but then how can that call be turned into documents that then go into either a contract or sales email or help prepare the salesperson for the next calls, right? So effectively helping the kind of B2B types of businesses. If this is helpful, and or if you want some more insights into how this works for your business, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to kind of discuss what kind of an engagement we can do with you. But ultimately, we're looking to essentially roll a lot of these types of workflows to businesses that are looking for that growth, that improved growth lever, and we're looking to do that with AI and automation. Right? There's a whole suite of of workflows that we're actually building to tackle a lot of these different problems across different departments, and have this as a playbook that I'll share probably in a separate video as to how this can be given to a new owner, and they can just execute some of these tasks for their company. So more to come on that. Hopefully this helps.